Hey everybody, this is Blue Dove with Overclock.net. Today we're going to be taking a look at the G603 and the G613 by Logitech gaming mouse and wireless mechanical keyboard. Alright, wireless mechanical keyboard. Really? That's a thing? Why did it take so long to actually come to market? Well, I think, to be honest with you, I think Logitech being one of the first ones to the market in terms of getting wireless products, they wanted to have a mouse and keyboard together that were basically based off the same technology. This technology is Lightspeed technology, and coincidentally, both of these devices actually include Bluetooth for cellular connectivity, so you could connect a tablet, a mobile phone up to it, or even a PC using a Bluetooth connection. You're not going to see the benefits of the full spectrum of Lightspeed technology, which basically gives you a 1 millisecond response time between each peripheral, but that is a awesome feature to have, to be able to switch between the two products or devices in your case if you wanted to move over to that other product. So let's start off with the mouse in terms of specifications. The mouse actually has a new hero sensor, so gone is the way of the PWM 3366 from PixArt. They are boasting it has up to a 12,000 DPI while having 10x the power efficiency. So that actually offers 18 months of a single charge, being two AA batteries, which are run in parallel in that series, which means you can actually take out one battery and lose about 50 grams of weight onto the mouse. So fully loaded up, that it's about 145 grams. I like a little heavier mouse, but to each their own. You're going to get about half the battery life. It is rated for 18 months with two AA alkaline batteries. You take one out, 9 months. That is also at the 8 millisecond report time, so on the low setting of the mouse. So if you run it high, you're at about 500 hours of usage with the two batteries, 250 with one. So pretty cool. The mouse actually has Omron switches built right into it, which is really cool. They are rated for about 20 million clicks. And then the mouse actually has, it's a cool way that it attaches the top of the mouse to the body itself. So inside the body, you can actually store the USB dongle if you're traveling. On the bottom side, you have the toggle button for Bluetooth or Lightspeed connection, and or the low and high speed, as well as off on the bottom side of the mouse. Comfort-wise of the mouse is pretty good. My hand fits pretty decently. I have a decent-sized hand. The only gripes I would have about this mouse is that there is no rubber grips on the side here. I do like a little rubber grip, but I didn't really have any issues fragging some noobs. The scroll wheel is pretty nice. I like a little bigger scroll wheel with a little bit grip on it. I like it. And the clicks are pretty consistent. Those Omron switches are quite nice. So overall, I really don't have a complaint with the mouse. It's very comfortable. Battery life has been good. I don't really have some issues. They also did include two Duracell AA alkaline batteries, so that's pretty cool. Moving on to the keyboard. The keyboard is pretty nice. Again, it's completely wireless mechanical keyboard. Has rubber about everywhere. You have these stoppers here, so they're kind of nice with rubber on the stopper as well too, if you want a little bit raised. The keyboard is a little weighty. Has a little flex to it. But overall, good design, integrated wrist rest. As far as the button cohesiveness, it does use the Romer G switches from Logitech that they co-developed with Omron. I would compare them to a Brown with O-ring dampeners. It does feature G1 through G6 macro keys on the side here, so that's really nice. And then it does have other audio options as far as play, pause, skip, volume up and down, a mute button, and then it also has a gaming mode indicator over here, which basically allows you to switch it on, and it disables the Windows button. So if you're in game and you're not really thinking about which button you're hitting, you're not going to get kicked out to Windows. So that's pretty cool. Then there is the Lightspeed button, and then the Bluetooth button, which allows you to simultaneously connect to other devices so that you can maybe respond to a text message or respond to an email on your phone instead of getting on your game. Pretty cool. The gripes that I would have with this keyboard, it would have been nice to include some rechargeable batteries, double alkaline batteries in here, and then integrated charger, so you could plug in maybe a micro USB into it to maybe charge it up in between using it wirelessly. That would help alleviate some issues. And then the other gripe I had was that the keycaps themselves, while being well, a decent actuation at 45 grams and 3 millimeters of travel distance and 70 million clicks. That's all fine and dandy, but the keycaps themselves, you can see some of those key prints are a little bit off center. So at a $150 price point, it makes it a little hard to swallow, being that the keycaps are kind of subpar quality. So other than that, it's a pleasure to type on. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of a typing test that I did. It's a quieter keyboard than most. This is my first experience with Roamer G switches, which is quite pleasant. I like the keyboard. I like it a lot.
All right, so software that Logitech has you use is the gaming software from Logitech. Basically allows you to see the keyboard in full, and then assign the macro keys if you wanted to. You can also do things like set profiles to specific things as far as a key on the keyboard you want for like in a game mode or any quick launch. If you're like into, say, a fighting game or something like that. You can also set different, again, these macros that hit on the G1 through 6 as well too. I just kind of farted around and did that. You can see how many seconds and things like that it takes for you to actuate, how many times you do it, with the areas you actually concentrate on. This is their affiliation with the Overwolf team that they actually sponsor, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then you can actually get into some settings here, as if you prefer like analytics and notifications. You can control your report rate settings for your polling rate, update the firmware, which I've already done on this keyboard as well too. Again, you can update the software. Other than that, if we cycle back over to the mouse here, you can see about like the onboard memory. You can control automatic game detection and things like that, so you can switch it on and off to what it is. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna go into the settings here of it. You can also set up different things as far as sensitivity. You can control the DPIs, which is pretty cool. I like to leave it on default. You can also, when you hit the middle mouse button, it'll cycle through these DPIs and it'll have it lit up. I like a fairly about 1200 DPI, 1600 DPI is what I typically set it on, and then the report rate I always leave it on 1000 Hertz. It just seems to be the most responsive for me, as I am an FPS shooter gamer. So with that said, the software is pretty intuitive. There is a battery icon. I would have liked to see something like maybe a percentage, but I mean, something's better than nothing instead of guessing. So what I'm not really digging here is that when you exit the software, it reverts back down to the lowest DPI. Nothing that a couple mouse clicks won't fix. So but with that said, yeah, the software is pretty intuitive.
It's probably going to stay on my desk for a little bit. I did have a little bit of issues in terms of latency with the 1 millisecond response time with Titanfall 2, but I quickly remedied that because CSGO and Overwatch, they were just fine with it, and those are more of a tournament shooter games that this is actually being marketed for. So if it doesn't have any issues with those games, it's got to be with Titanfall 2. So all right, so as far as pricing is concerned, the mouse is at $69.95 in the US, and the keyboard being $149.95. So is pricing a little high on the keyboard? Yeah, I would agree so, especially not having RGB lighting it on it at all. So I think they could have included maybe some rechargeable batteries again, and maybe a way to charge it off-site instead of actually having just replace batteries, but that can be quickly remedied by actual using rechargeable base station, things like that. So the mouse, I have only the one complaint of no rubber grip on the side, but again, I don't really have any issues with that. As long as your hands don't sweat, you should be good to go. So I had realistically no issues gaming on it. It was a pleasure. It's going to stay on my desk for a little bit here. So other than that, you leave us a like and comment down below. Tell me how the audio quality is going. I upped my audio game recently, so hopefully you like the audio quality going into this video. And then coming up on the channel is going to be a couple of GTX 1070 Ti reviews, along with some Z370. Coffee Lake's coming up. I secured a 8400 6-core, so I know that's not an overclocking one. I'm going to try and work on getting an 8700K and then possibly a Threadripper build. So stay tuned. See you later.